Hello, students. We are meeting for our next lecture, and we have started the discussion of chapter food and starch industry. Under that, we are discussing food industry, and we have discussed many important points under this chapter. And in the last lecture, very important point we have covered, that is food preservation. Actually, we have not covered it completely, but under food preservation technique, we have finished the traditional techniques and curing. Now, for today's lecture, we'll discuss the industrial or modern techniques. Because the basic reason, again, I would like to brush up here, that presence of water in different quantity, exposure to the atmosphere, or intrusion of pathogens or microorganisms or insects or some chemicals or inbuilt chemicals. These are the reasons for food spoilage or food deterioration that were discussed in last lecture, and we have seen how traditional techniques are used for preservation of food. Those traditional techniques are still in use as far as domestic scale is concerned, means at domestic level you can use that, but on large scale, the same process or similar kind of process has to be modified, or other way you have to go for some modern techniques. So that's why they are called as industrial or modern techniques. Okay, so under that, the first is pasteurization. Now the famous scientist Louis Pasteur. Okay, he developed this method. He what he did, he used this pasteurization method for to get rid of microorganisms like bacteria or some single cell species. So here he used to heat the liquid for very up to some very high temperature that will kill the microorganism, say up to 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. And then if you cool the liquid very fast, uh, then there is no chance for growth of the these microorganisms. So here one has to take care of the temperature. Okay, and mostly this technique is used for preservation of liquid kind of food material, and mostly this pasteurization technique is used for preservation of dairy product, especially for milk. So in this process, uh, milk is heated to the 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 minutes to kill the bacteria present in it. It is then cooled rapidly to the 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, to prevent the remaining bacteria from growing. And the milk is after this process, immediately the milk is stored in sterilized bottles in cold places. Okay, so in this way, first whatever bacteria are present, if at all they are present, they will be killed at 70 degrees Celsius. Immediate cooling avoid the growth of remaining bacteria, and then immediate bottling in sterilized condition do not allow the growth of microorganisms, or you can say bacteria. So when it is opened at consumer level, then only again it has to be heated. So at home also, whenever you purchase the milk, when you open that plastic bag or bottle, you go for immediately heating for some time and then cooling. So same is a pasteurization, but on industrial scale, you have to heat it on large scale, and not only that, you have to take care of the timings as well as the temperature. So this is the pasteurization method used for preservation of liquid food, especially for the milk. Then second is vacuum packing. Now you know vacuum. Vacuum means you have to remove all the air. In this technique, food is stored in vacuum environment. This vacuum packing you must have seen, especially when you go for buying the dry fruits. Have you seen the dates, black dates or red dates? They are packed very tightly in plastic covering or plastic bag. So that is a vacuum packing. Okay, so for acroads or these dates, this kind of packing is used. So in this technique, food is stored in vacuum environment. So there is no air. So generally, food is kept in airtight bag or bottle. Okay. This technique is most commonly used, as I said, for nuts to reduce the loss of flavor from oxidation. Means there is no exposure to the atmosphere. As I told you, one of the reason for food spoilage is exposure to the atmosphere, which is the responsible for oxidation. So oxidation is responsible for loss of flavor, or you can say loss of taste. So in this technique, exposure to the atmosphere is you can say avoided by creating vacuum, and that in a plastic container or plastic bag or bottle. So where there is you have to remove the air. It is not useful for all kind of food material, but it is used for mostly for dry fruits, which contains less amount of water in it. So this is the second technique that is used for food preservation. The next is artificial food additives. So here these food additives are you can say they have different purposes, but as far as food preservation is concerned, they avoid the oxidation. Okay, or sometimes they kill the microbials which are present. So preservative food additives can be antimicrobial, means they kill the microbes, but at the same time they should not be harmful after eating. So that care has to be taken while selecting the proper and artificial food additives. So they inhibit the growth of bacteria or fungi, for example mold or antioxidant. So they inhibit the oxidation of food constituents. In the second vacuum packing also I told you, the oxidation of food is responsible for loss of flavor or taste of the food. So here the artificial food additives, they act as antioxidant, and they inhibit the oxidation of food constituents. Some preservatives normally which are used as artificial food additives, they are calcium propionate, that is a salt of calcium salt of propionic acid, or you can use sodium nitrate or sodium nitrite, NaNO2 or NaNO3, or you can use sodium bisulfate. So these are the various food additives. There are n number of other food additives. They can go up to 3000 different substances, but all of them are not food preservatives. There are different purposes of food additives also. But as far as the food storage life is concerned, most of the food additives are added while packing. Okay, so this is the one method for food preservation. Next is irradiation. So means here radiations are used. Okay, so these radiations are ionizing radiation, means the electrons are removed, creating cations or anions. So these there are two types. Two types of radiations used, that is beta particles or gamma rays. So these beta particle and gamma rays are generates the cations and anions, and when these cations and anions are there, they will kill the microorganisms. Okay, so it is one of the food processing technology available to the food industry. It is used to control organism, means by irradiation. When ions are generated, these ions create the potential at the cell wall of this microorganism, which results in the bursting of the cell wall, thus by killing the organism. So that this irradiation technique is responsible for killing of the organism which are responsible for foodborne diseases. Okay, or to reduce the food losses due to deterioration of the food material. So it is mainly used for preserving the spices or fresh fruits. Such kind of you can say food materials can be uh, stored without spoilage by irradiation method. Then there are some techniques: pulsed electric electro poration. This is also used, but it is not yet fully developed, so we are not discussing in detail. Then modified atmosphere, again the second technique which I told you, that is vacuum packing. In vacuum, the reason behind vacuum packing is the you have to again go to the basics why food get spoiled, that is exposure to the atmosphere. So in vacuum packing, you avoid the exposure of food material to the atmosphere, thus by inhibiting the oxidation. You are not allowing the food material to come in contact with the oxygen. Here the same purpose is sufficed by modifying the atmosphere in which the food is there, means the surrounding atmosphere is modified. How it is modified? Then this in they are stored in sealed bags. Okay, and in these sealed bags, the concentration of oxygen is reduced and concentration of carbon dioxide is increased. So this carbon dioxide prevents the growth of insect which are responsible for the damaging the food. Okay, in nowadays, apart from carbon dioxide, the plastic bags where chips or kurkure type of food material is sealed, in those bags, you they are full of gas. When you buy it, you will see that full of gas. That gas is mostly high concentration of nitrogen and less concentration, or you can say nearly there is no oxygen inside it. So that will avoid or inhibit or retard the growth of microorganisms for responsible for food damage or food spoilage. Then next is use of non-thermal plasma. What is basically plasma? Plasma is a collection of ionized gas molecules. So in this process, the surface of food is subjected to the flame of ionized gas molecules such as helium or nitrogen. Now these ionized gas molecules, they come in contact with the cell walls of the microorganisms, and thus by they are responsible for the killing of microorganisms. So once these microorganisms are killed, your food spoilage is avoided and maintaining the quality of the food. So this is the you can say non-thermal plasma. Then next is high pressure food preservation. So here in atmosphere around the food material is created with the high pressure. So in this technique, this high pressure is used nearly 70,000 pounds per square inch to preserve food. Okay, so by this method, food retains its fresh appearance. Okay, so this fresh appearance, flavor, texture, or nutrients, nutritional values of the food are maintained due to high pressure, because under high pressure also it becomes very difficult for microorganisms or any reaction to take place, or for microorganisms to survive. So in a way, these two three reasons which are responsible for food spoilage are you can say avoided in the high pressure food preservation. And there are still more techniques like high pressure sorry biopreservation. So in biopreservation, or you can say hurdle technology, biopreservation is mainly used for extending the shelf life of the food, or hurdle technology is used to eliminate the pathogens in the food. So these are mostly non-common processes, but mostly used is pasteurization, vacuum packing, artificial food additives, irradiation, or modified atmosphere or non-thermal plasma kind of methods are used for food preservation. Okay, so these are the industrial scale techniques or modern techniques for food preservation. Then in the next lecture we'll discuss the food additives, which we discuss in short in the point number 3, that is artificial food additives. What is the purpose of food additives? Basically, there are two three purposes that we'll discuss in detail in next lecture, that is alter the taste, to alter the color, to alter the storage life, or to alter the texture. So what is the basically the role of food additives, the purpose, and which are those food additives, that all the things we'll discuss in next lecture in detail. Right now I will just give you idea that number of food additives which are added, the chemicals or those substances have increased to a large number, and it has now exceeded the 3000. Okay, so there are various kinds of food additives which are added, and they are listed with the E number. So what is that E number and everything, that we'll discuss in the next lecture. So for time being, I will stop here. Again, I would like to repeat one thing. I have posted one instruction on the Google Classroom regarding the doubts and difficulties, but till now I don't receive any doubt or difficulty or queries from your side. So again, through this lecture I would like to remind you, please, if you have any doubt difficulty, please post it on the Google Classroom through comment. Okay, so that I can receive your doubts and difficulty. And so whenever I will receive it, will sufficient number of queries, will discuss it using the online lecture. So that you have to study the first chapter very well, then there may be doubts or difficulties or queries regarding the topics covered under the first chapter. Okay, so here we'll stop for today's lecture. We'll meet on next Wednesday for next lecture. Thank you.